What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful morning. Even though it looked like it's still nighttime, it's definitely morning. I'm definitely on the way to work. I hope you guys are having a wonderful little blessed morning. If you see this in the afternoon, evening, next year, whenever you see it, make sure you have a blessed day. Nobody tells me that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I know that a lot of people are on spiritual journeys and trying to find things, but make sure we are in tune with the gift of the Holy Spirit that is within us, because we got to put that before our own self, because we can lean to our own understanding, and that could be detrimental to our journey. I'm telling you, sometimes it's just, we just got to enjoy the ride. We just do, and sometimes we don't have a choice. So always remember that. Make sure you subscribe to the Taking Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics, and I'll put up my matches as Classic Alpha, a professional wrestler of 13 years. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. And despite everything that is going on with me losing control of the company and possibly losing a career in C3 Ultimate Wrestling May 3rd, it is still me and my wife's company that we are definitely fighting back for. So make sure you subscribe. Get your tickets May 3rd for Press Start 3 in Dyer, Indiana, Harold's Private Venue. Second event of C3 Ultimate Wrestling back at Harold's Private Venue. Tickets are $5 off on Eventbrite in Dyer, Indiana. So if you are in Hammond, East Chicago, Chicago, Illinois, Chicago Heights, anywhere like Riverdale, Riverwood, wherever you at, make sure you get those tickets. You do not want to miss this event. Where is the Wyatt 6? And I don't mean that disrespectfully. Where is the Wyatt 6? Somebody said it's been about 90 days since we've seen anything of the Wyatt 6. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I watch Netflix or on Raw each episode, or I watch every episode of SmackDown. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But where have they been? It's five people, right? And we haven't seen much of them. So I want to talk about certain things that come to my mind when I think about the absence or the anticipation. Okay? I'm going to go off what I said at first at the beginning. Even when I was talking about Bray Wyatt's character, especially when he evolved into The Fiend, right? It's difficult for these kind of characters to succeed because of social media. And my thing is this: a lot of people want to be like, oh, well, this is not spooky, or this is certain things. Now, Bray had a huge following, but at the same time, the antics that you guys were trying to have him do, and he was doing and coming to his mind, it's just, it has a shelf life on it. And it sucks to say, but it is true. This is way different. Like, people was like, he's supposed to be the successor to The Undertaker. But let's talk about The Undertaker for a minute, even though we talked about him yesterday. The Undertaker's character of being a zombie and Western mortician and stuff like that, that was very successful because social media was not as big as it is now. People wasn't following him to his car. They wasn't trying to take pictures of him at the gas station and stuff like that. A lot of people wasn't looking up Wikipedia to see who it really is. A lot of people wasn't making sheets of this was person. They wasn't doing all of this stuff back in the day. It wasn't doing all of this stuff in the day, and some people still was believing that everything was just very impactful and believable. And I commend The Undertaker for doing it for so long, to the fact it looks kind of weird that when he's not dressed like a zombie or whatever like that, it's like, dog, who is this? I'm just joking, but I'm just saying. So that's my take on it. When Bray Wyatt started doing his stuff, we knew that he was Husky Harris in NXT. We knew who he was. We knew who he was related to. We knew who his brother was for the most part. We knew this kind of stuff. So now when you have this character, and it was a very compelling character, and you guys know how I feel about his wrestling skill, but the character definitely connected with a lot of people, adults and children. We knew who he was, we knew certain things and stuff like that, and then like the spooky aspect of it. So many people expose so much stuff in the business, to the point the wrestlers even expose it to the business. So it had a shelf life. Like, even giving him the belt, I think he won the belt twice. I felt that his title reigns wasn't going to be long regardless, and neither one of them was. They wasn't. They were not long title reigns. And I said this and I've spoken about this before. I mean, even The Undertaker, 20 plus years in the business, he's only won the championships like 6 times. You would think he'd been a 10-time, but it's just how he did it and with the character and stuff. And I felt that back in the day, he could have won it a couple more times. But the older he got, the slower the championships came because, did I say slower? I meant the older he got, if I didn't say, I don't know, I think I said slower. The older he got, the slower because of social media and stuff like that. So when I bring this up to the Wyatt 6, the night they debuted and everybody was happy and cheering and talking about it, somebody took pictures of them at the Waffle House without no gear on. They just knew who they were. And that goes into a point to the fact that, like, people look at this stuff, they search the stuff, they was excited about the group, to the fact that they was exposing the cast, and some of us knew who they were. And then even WWE winded up saying, like, eventually doing like weekly segments of these people saying how Bray affected them and stuff like that. And that's just what it was. And that was magic in itself. But the night they had a big, powerful debut, somebody knew who they were and was taking pictures with them at Waffle House. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes social media can ruin an experience when it comes to certain things with wrestling. I say just watch wrestling. I know it's easy and it's very attractive and pulls you in to read spoilers and big debuts and stuff like that and who's who. But be generally surprised. And I'll say this. One of the last times I was generally surprised, to my knowledge, outside of CM Punk returning at Survivor Series that one year, was when Saraya, formerly known as Paige, showed up to AEW and debuted. Nobody knew that was going to happen because nobody was talking about it, and it felt dope. It was natural. Not even going to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of things that I'm talking about with it. Now you have 5 people, I believe it's 5. Maybe 5 people, and they're doing stuff, and a lot of people was rocking with it. They was liking it, and then eventually it was every other week. Then it was every other month. Then they had a feud with carrying The Miz and Final Testament. Then it was moved to SmackDown, and it's like you haven't seen them since. Now, other things are they are a collective unit. So that's 5 people. So if you want them to wrestle all together, you have to find a group of 5 people or whatever, 4 or 5 people to get together. And with the woman, Nikki Cross, who's supposed to be Lady Abigail, I believe, you have to find a lady that wrestles her or a manager that she can be entangled with certain things. Not the Will Smith entanglement, I'm talking about wrestling. But still, you have to find that kind of stuff too. So that's kind of difficult if a lot of groups don't have a group of 5. Like usually groups are 3 at least minimum, and a woman valet or a woman wrestler part of it or whatever like that. I mean, they did small stuff with like the Alpha Academy, but Alpha Academy is American Alpha. I'm sorry, Alpha. It's so many Alphas. Classic Alpha, Alpha Academy, American Alpha, Alpha American. You know what I'm saying? But still, American made, they went against them, and then eventually they're at SmackDown. So now you have to either make a super group or whatever like that. Because to me, they should personally break them up and have certain people do one-on-ones and tags. And they did that before, so I don't know why they stopped that. Another thing could be, somebody could be in hot water, and I hope it's not true. This is coming out of my mouth. I ain't read no rumors or nothing. So sometimes if one person messes up in the group, the whole group has to suffer. I hope it's not true, but still, even then, you can have at least Uncle Howdy, like his brother, Bray's brother, to like speak or say something or vignettes or something, do something to like try to keep the interest alive. And I've said this when they debuted, they wasn't going to wrestle every week. I said this. I didn't think they wasn't going to wrestle in 90 days though. And I'm not laughing at the misfortune of it, but that is something, you know. I don't know if they're waiting for something or whatever like that, but I do think that it is something that honestly can pick up steam again when they show up. I do think that the crowd will go crazy for it and they'll cheer for it or whatever like that, but I do feel like they definitely could have had a little bit more going on with the situation. Could have had a couple one-on-ones. You could have had them like terrorizing people or something, because even with Bray, it was kind of like the same thing. So now I'm not comparing these guys to Bray. But now imagine people who have similar aura, and there's 5 of them trying to find something to do. And he's like, if y'all said y'all couldn't even find nothing for Bray to do as one person, just imagine trying to find something to do for 5 people. I'm just saying, like, I think that this is something that I think people will still react to, but I don't think that they should wait that long when it comes to that situation. I do think that you could have threw them in something. I think WrestleMania is around the corner. Like, back in the day when WrestleMania was just one day, it was like, oh, well, they don't have much of a match for you. Now it's 2 nights. So we'll see what they do or whatever like that. But you could at least have, like, Uncle Howdy, who's basically the successor of the Wyatt stuff. You could have had him wrestling, or you could have had him doing something or whatever like that, because even before the Wyatt 6 situation, before Bray's unfortunate passing, they was doing stuff with Bobby Lashley, then they threw it out because Bray was suffering through health stuff. But they could have even did something with Uncle Howdy then, and they didn't. So, confused about what's going on. Like, I do think, like I said, I know how to put feelings aside about certain things and all of that, and I felt that. And I'm not trying to say I'm always right, because like I said, with my predictions, I have been off. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't take that personal, because we be rocking together. We be saying stuff. We be in the comments saying things. But with a situation like this, right? Like, man, like we should have seen a little bit more of them. Like, even if you did have to, like, space them out, which would have been fine with me, we should have seen, like, a little bit more. We just know they went to SmackDown, and then, like, that's it. So this goes to show that it doesn't matter who runs the show. Sometimes they're going to do things that you don't like, or that you're going to question. They're going to let go of people. They're going to drop storylines. I think the biggest thing is, the rumor is Nakamura may be out the door, which is crazy because he's Triple H's guy. You know what I'm saying? So these are the kind of things that happen. But what happened to him? What happened to him? No vignettes? No matches? Like, what is going on with the Wyatt 6? Are they going to do something with Alexa Bliss, who's coming in? And, you know, she has improved in her promo game, even when she wasn't with Bray. Like, what are they going to do? Like, I generally want to know. If y'all have any ideas, let me know. Do y'all miss the Wyatt 6? How would you have them show up on TV? Stop recording them going stuff. Like, that thing about exposing and taking pictures of people and stuff, just doing their normal lives, like, let that say private. Like, I recommend that. I highly recommend that. Because to know who all these people are before they even announce who they were, and to take a picture with them at the Waffle House is just crazy. I just saw a video not too long ago. Penta had his mask off, and they knew who he was, and they was recording him. Mind you, like, lucha mask and, like, being unmasked is very, very sacred, that they don't want to let people know how they look and stuff. You don't even know this man's age. But for some reason, they knew who he was. He had a hat on with a brim hanging low, and they was calling him out. Pictures with Rey Mysterio without a mask. Now, Rey is a little more chill with it. Rey is definitely more chill with it. Rey don't care. He be taking his mask off. But still, a lot of people, they'll see something and then they'll hurry up and record because, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime or twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and then they'll sit here and they'll invade a wrestler's personal space. So you got to be careful with those kind of things, because you could mess up their bread and butter. You could mess up their bread and butter, because, like, they deserve to have their private lives just as much as we do. And I know that you say, oh, well, they chose this life. Yes, they did chose this life, but personal space and private space can be one all in the same together. It truly can be. You've seen a lot of wrestlers, you know, doing autographs, they tired, they loopy. A lot of y'all threw Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks' name in the mud because she wasn't smiling in the pictures at the airport. And she said why she don't, and I believe, honestly, she had valid reason why, and y'all still was mad at her. Like, y'all still mad. Y'all can't make me hate her. That's gonna be one of my next videos. But still, just gotta be careful with this kind of stuff. If you are a true wrestling fan and you would love to see the stuff and you want to be surprised, stay off the internet with it. Unsubscribe to dirt sheets and stuff. I have some of them only for, like, the results of shows I'm not watching. That's it. Only for shows. As far as quote unquote spoilers or whatever like that, it don't really bother me much, but I just hate that when people be like, oh, well, wrestling is so predictable, it's so boring and all that. Now, they haven't been saying it. I'll say that. But there was one point where people was like, oh, it's so predictable. Well, yeah, if you're looking at a spoiler, of course it's predictable. Especially if it's a pre-tape show. Of course it's predictable. You already looking at the stuff already. So I'm just saying, I won't say just shut up and enjoy wrestling, but I'll say just enjoy wrestling if you want to. Well, let me know what you guys think about the Wyatt 6 situation. Let me know. If you guys have a wonderful day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.